It's time for Maggie and the Moms. Sponsored by Tampa General Hospital.
Figuring out friendship. It's tricky at every age. There are always challenges that we all have to navigate, and we'll talk about those today. And we all, logically, as moms, want to help our children navigate social hardships when they arise. But moms, you may be going overboard. That's where we're starting today. Danielle Bayard Jackson is here. She is the authority on all things friendship coach, friendship educator, author. I mean, she's just unbelievable. We're so happy to have you here to help us lead this discussion today. Tina Jackson is here. She's a mother of 4. She's a fashion stylist. She is a book nerd. Is it okay if I call you that?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean it as the highest praise as a fellow book nerd. I just love everything you're posting lately with all the authors and all the books that you're featuring.
No,
Thank
it's definitely
you.
a passion of mine. So
Yes, it's the Style Attic on Instagram. Check it out. Did I say that Danielle's a mother of 2? I don't know. She's a mother of 2. It's important for me to always say how many kids we're all juggling in our lives. I have 2. Deanna has 2 as well. Deanna Moore over there, mother of 2 daughters, including a brand new 11-year-old. Happy birthday. Thank you. All right. So I said that moms may be going overboard trying to help their kids navigate social hardships. And that is because Danielle Bayard Jackson has opened our eyes to something that is happening. We're talking about even at a collegiate level. Please explain.
Yeah, so for a living, I study the research on women's conflict and connection. So it sets me up for really cool opportunities across the country to partner and speak and all these things. And I am astounded because the data that I'm getting from teachers, guidance counselors, vice principals is that this year more than ever, they're having an issue with the moms. They said that they are overwhelmed by the amount of calls that they're getting from parents.
Surely you must be talking about like elementary school.
Them too. But we're talking private schools with kids 5th through 8th grade. They're saying that the parents are calling about, oh, she's not making friends, or a certain group of girls, they didn't let her sit with them at lunch. Like, what are we going to do about that? I speak to major universities and the sororities that they have on campus. Their counselors are telling me that the members, they're like 2 weeks fresh into it. And parents are calling. She hasn't made friends yet. Can you help with that? We have moms that are in the group chats alongside their daughters going back and forth with the girls.
I got to jump in because I want to make sure that we all heard that right.
It's an issue.
Did you just say that girls in sororities are having their moms call the school?
Yes.
And not because their daughter is in some grave danger or something like that, which would then make sense?
Correct.
Okay.
Too much meddling.
And they're actively in the sorority?
Yes.
Oh
my gosh.
Okay.
See, that's the problem. We don't give kids obstacles. We try to eliminate all the obstacles, and then they never learn lessons.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they get to be college age and still need mom
Yeah.
to call. Or I wonder if they don't, if these girls are horrified. So I think that the mom is the problem there. What's your opinion and what's your advice?
I mean, it could be so many things. I recently interviewed a psychologist for my podcast, and she specializes in parents and helping them coach their kids. And she said a lot of it she thinks is projection. It could be projection and anxiety. So if something's happening to my 16-year-old girl and it's starting to kind of trigger what happened to me at 16, but the difference is now in my adulthood, I feel empowered. And so I am jumping in because she's not going to walk over you. We're going to handle that.
I'm going to fight this 8-year-old.
No, truly. So at some point, it's like, when are we coaching so our kids are equipped to do it themselves, to trust their own intuition? But it could also be anxiety. You're anxious about her being, not being included, falling behind. So I know we've got our own stuff, and I think it's the perpetual question is, at what point do you advocate and at what point do you let them do their thing?
And here's the thing, you mentioned intuition, especially when it comes to college and in a sorority, because isn't that the purpose of a sorority?
Yeah.
Friendship and family and, working through
It should be,
things,
absolutely.
So my intuition, if I empowered my daughter or whoever to have that intuition, then that daughter would have said, this isn't the sorority for me.
There you go. Right.
If I'm not able to connect with the very people that, I joined this group for.
And by the way, that does happen, I imagine, that, it doesn't turn out to be what you expected. But as a college student, I would hope that you would be equipped to either deal with it or to say, I'm going to figure this out. I have to figure out how to deal with this.
And it's not stopping with friendships. I read an article that said Gen Z, a lot of Gen Zers are going to college. Their parents are doing their resumes for them.
Oh, yeah.
Taking them to interviews. Like, they're not learning how to do basic things at all. It goes all the way up to taxes. Like, when do you learn how to do your own taxes?
Yeah.
This is why, and I'm trademarking this, people.
Let's go. TM.
Yeah, we're going to put it in our book of ideas.
That's right. It's in the book.
I want to open like storefronts, and they're called School of Life. And there you teach things that are not academic, that are how to balance a checkbook, how to iron, how to cook, how to do your taxes.
Well, we used to have that back in the day. It was
Remember
home
ec?
economics.
Yes.
Why did that go away?
Because we got
They said
too STEM
funding.
focused.
Yeah.
So
We still need to know how to do
sew,
Yeah.
cook,
Yeah.
and balance a checkbook.
When we meddle too much, back to our theme, we're not teaching kids how to do life, because conflict is a part of life.
Yeah.
But you did raise a good point, which is when do we meddle? When do we advocate? Let's talk about that. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, advocate or not meddle. Is what I mean.
I think if there's something that arises where your kid is in danger, like physically or even mentally, then you step in, but not on the college level. Like maybe on when they're in your home and they're going to elementary, middle school, high school, and things arise as far as like bullying or anything like that. That's when the parent meddles, but not with the kid. You meddle in the school and you call the administrators, but you don't. My meddling was helping to guide my own children through the issue, not joining their chats or, talking to the kid myself.
You never talk to a kid yourself.
No.
That is not okay. Can we all agree that you never?
I don't know. I joined
not
the chat the
okay.
other day.
You what? Wait, what? Tell me.
But no, it was more just because it was like 11 p.m. and it was ding, ding, ding,
Oh, okay.
ding. And I was
This
like,
is so-and-so's mom.
Nina is asleep.
Yes.
Night night, girls.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Legitimate.
Yeah.
Legitimate.
Just sending a selfie of your face that's like,
Uh-uh.
turn it off.
I think that the last recourse is to involve the school. Like you first hope that you're raising the kind of kids that can come to you and tell you when they're having an issue. And then you try to guide them and help them figure out how to deal with it.
Right.
I think that's always going to be your job, even at a college level. Did this ever
Exactly.
happen to you?
Yeah.
Second, that doesn't work. I feel first, before you even go to the school, if you must, go to the other parent. Right? Like try to say, hey, this is happening. Even though the kids hate that, because there's this thing where like, don't be a snitch. Don't tell so-and-so's mom that I'm having this problem.
Because it makes it worse.
And that's
sometimes.
tricky too.
Yeah.
It's all tricky.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to like get into the mind of the parent who meddles. I think, like you said, they had these experiences where they were bullied, and then we went way too far, like we do with everything nowadays, where we wanted anti-bullying so bad. Now we have started taking away the tools that our kids need. We have become the tool.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't give them the tools.
Plus
No
calling
problem solving.
everything
Exactly.
Yeah.
bullying.
yes.
You can't call everything bullying because then it's like the crying wolf. When it
Yeah.
really is bullying,
Yeah.
then it's not taken as seriously as it should be by schools.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I'm such a language person, so even if my kids, when they were in middle school and high school and they would say the word bullying, I would make them write down the definition
Yeah,
of it.
right. What do you
like
mean?
what
What
do you
is
mean?
bullying?
What is it? Like, do you really understand what that is? And so, but I don't think a lot of parents do that.
Yeah.
They just take it at face value.
So you have been interacting with students at every age and every stage. I'm curious to know, if you don't mind, what are the most common social issues these days at every age? Like
Okay.
middle school, what's the thing now?
Yeah, and I'm having ongoing conversations with people who are in the trenches. So relationally, it's making friends, but the biggest thing is friction. They do not know what to do when the friend offends you, when they leave you out. So they're going to the counselors. So I have counselors saying like, man, I'm spending my whole day mediating this stuff. That's why they're hiring me. But they're like, we need them to be equipped because we cannot spend the whole day saying, did you talk to her? Did you ask her? Did you apologize? So several teachers, counselors have said that the girls coming and them advising them, well, did you talk to her? Well, did you ask her if that's what she meant? So it is scary, even for adults, to ask a friend like, hey, what did you mean by that joke? But that's not happening. So the biggest thing I would say is relational friction and not even knowing their options. The last thing I'll say is I recently spoke with some high schoolers and they said to me, I was like, you know how we tell you communicate? And one of the girls said, yeah, but what does that mean? And she was so earnest. She was like, what, like, go communicate.
You know, I love that she asked you that, because
Yeah.
what does it mean when you, what does it mean?
Do I say, like, do I tell her off? Do I say, like, hey,
Yeah.
do I go with curiosity? Hey, when you said that in front of everybody at lunch, like, what did you mean? Because it was actually really embarrassing. But, like, not even having a model of what it looks like to tell my friend you hurt me and then to move on after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are the things that should be happening inside your home. You know, conflict resolution, you know, all those things, how to communicate, when to communicate, like what to say.
Modeling good behavior.
Yeah, modeling
Hopefully
good
you're seeing
behavior.
that with mom.
you
I
know?
mean,
yeah.
and I'm not perfect, but it doesn't help when you go home and you have mom doing the gossip back and forth on the phone, and you know, so who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about high school? Same thing? Same kind of issues?
The high school is the same thing with friction.
With friction.
It really is. And
Danielle,
I mean,
talking to your mic for me.
the issue with friction for sure. I mean, and I asked the kids, so I'm even going to a school after this recording, and we've given them index card and told them to tell us what do you want us to cover in this series when it comes to friendship. And it's being put in the middle was a big one. I just pulled the data. So
But conflict between two friends and you're in the middle? Mhm.
I have to pick. And
Oh,
if I go sit with
no.
her, they're going to be mad. And if I stand up for her when I gossip, then I look like I'm not an ally. What do I do when I'm stuck in the middle? I'm not the bully or the victim. I'm the girl in the middle. That's a big one. Moving on after hardship and just generally relational friction, not knowing what to
Yeah.
do or say.
Wow.
Would you mind sharing some advice that you would give in a specific situation? Like, let's say the middle thing. Or am I putting you on the spot?
Yeah, no. So we practice. We talk about what healthy friendship is first, so that they know if a friend is telling you you have to choose between me and her. Ooh, does that fit what we said about healthy friends? So we try to start with like, what's good friendship, healthy, safe friendship, and then afterwards we evaluate your circumstances. Does this fit what we said earlier? Right? So that they can identify. And then we do talk about, I call it telegraphing your dilemma. So saying to a friend why you feel caught between the two. So you can say to her like, man, I really want to be a good friend to you. I do have your back, but she's my friend too. So I'm not going to say anything bad about her. Like communicating to you my internal conflict and the position you're putting me in can kind of help the friend to see both sides. And if over time she's constantly pressuring you to pick, or I have to say something bad about her to show my loyalty to you, I need to leave.
Yeah.
Yes, and valuing yourself to know that, because I mean, at that age, friends are everything. You just desperately want to be part of a group, any group, and you will almost put up with stuff that you shouldn't put up with just to have a quote unquote friend.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say there is, because I know for a lot of moms, sometimes we give advice that doesn't fit their scenario. So like with an adult, we can say, oh, cut her off. Don't call her anymore. But we have to remember these girls are in a fishbowl. I can't cut her off. I have to sit next to her in science class. So they are kind of making some choices to survive being with these girls for 8 hours a day.
I'm curious. I heard somewhere that you shouldn't try to give your kids advice too much. There are times when you have to, but they actually just want you to listen. So do you think that that's a good idea? Just if they're giving you all these complaints about friends, do you just give them or do you say something?
I think there's a way to kind of validate like, oh, that's so hard, or like, man, how long has that been going on? Well, that sounds really rough. And so kind of highlighting things back to like her goals, like, man, I know you said that you wanted to just have fun this year. It doesn't sound like you have a lot of fun with her.
See, that's what I do.
Instead
I
of
ask
the telling.
questions,
That's
you know.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really advise when it comes to friendships, but I ask them questions like, oh, well, what's going on? You know, is she healthy? You know, is he healthy? Is he going through any medical conditions? Or, you know, like what really happened there? Or, you know, I ask all the questions, but not necessarily tell them what to do.
Like, I can't believe she did that. You need to go tell her.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially in high school, they think they know more than you.
Yeah,
so
they don't
when
listen to you.
letting them
Yeah.
arrive.
just
And sometimes
Yeah.
we try, like that happened to me when I was in, and then sometimes they'll listen, but sometimes they'll get the, how long ago were you, you know, like it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
So you do
That's
have
fair.
to be careful. I'm curious to know if loneliness is a big one. And if kids, because I've been reading so much about this, that kids are turning to these chat bots for companionship. Is that something that you're running into, that you're seeing as an issue?
I will say I literally just had a conversation with a teacher at a local high school, and she has a nonprofit. And she has an after school for the teenage girls that is totally elective. And she says she thinks we'd be surprised by how many times they say the word out of their own mouth, lonely. They're saying out of their own mouth, like, I just feel kind of lonely, which I think is
my
oh,
heart.
absolutely.
I know.
So the ChatGPT thing, research is finding that it's the number one reason people turn to ChatGPT now is for companionship and therapy. And so, we do have to watch out for it. AI is new to us all, so trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But some signs that maybe they're going to ChatGPT for companionship too much are they chat first or friends first? So something happens, are they going to people first or to chat first? The second thing is how often they're anthropomorphizing ChatGPT, which means talking about it like it's a human.
Yes.
Yeah.
She said, this is my chat. And I know it's a joke and it's playful, but like, well, let me ask my chat
Let's
girl.
call it what
She
it
told me,
is.
I'm not going to talk about it like it's a person. Watch out
Yes.
for that.
Well, we need to stop giving them names. Like we were talking the other day, Deanna, that AI actress Tilly Norwood that has a name, and there are
Tilly
Hollywood
Norwood.
agents like cramming to represent quote unquote her.
That's crazy.
So, and that's where it starts. And I read the study and it said that it actually starts before then, because if your kids see you talking to Alexa and to Siri, we're like, hey, Alexa. So they see it on another app and they see how we engage and we're like, oh, thanks, Alexa.
Yes, parents.
Oh, I have an
Practice
Alexa
what you
story
preach.
too.
Practice
I
what you
heard somewhere
preach.
that you should talk to Alexa with politeness in your voice. So I always say, Alexa, can you please? Or thank you, Alexa. So that,
Model
your kids aren't,
manners.
because
Yeah.
typically people will like bark orders at the AI, at Alexa. And then the other day they have, I guess it's like Amazon Plus or something like that, where they're trying to convince you to upgrade. The new Alexa voice is more human and realistic. And so we listened to her, and both of my girls were like, creepy. I was like, yeah, let's keep that robot voice.
Yeah.
We disconnected Alexa
Yeah, we
years
did
and
too.
years and years and
I
years
want
and years
to.
ago.
I'm not allowed to.
And my husband doesn't even have Siri. Like I do.
Yeah, I never talk to Siri.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
But
disconnected
for that
Alexa
reason,
too. Yeah,
we
I
got to
mean,
interact with people.
Yes, and I think that starts in the home. Like, we have to really be conscious and intentional about everything that we are doing in our home. And even like I used to put my kids in certain situations and see how they will get themselves.
What do you
through
mean?
it.
Like what?
You know, like
Or throw them off a cliff and see what happens.
Figuratively speaking.
like move something and see how they would find it, or like if they would just come and ask where this is without even first looking for it, like just little things like that.
Tina, I
like
love
how
that.
they find their
They're
way.
like, Mom,
Yeah.
is this another one of your tests?
You're so nice.
my
I do that aggressively. My daughter could not find a piece of her homework, and I was like, I'm not looking for it. I'm not doing it. You're gonna find it. If you don't find it, you're taking an infraction. These are the breaks.
Yes. Because really, like, if the cycle of life happens the way it's supposed to, like your parents or your mom, they're going to leave this earth first. And so in my heart of hearts, like, that's how I raised my kids. Like, if they were to wake up tomorrow and I'm not here, will they be able to sustain life without me?
Oh my
And
gosh, you got so deep.
You're right.
was
So
good.
Those are the
You're
questions.
right. The purpose of life, the
Yeah.
purpose of parenting, I should say, is to raise them to not need you. To raise them to be okay without you.
Wow.
Well, but when they do leave the nest or become independent, as we all hope they will, then here we are with our lives to still live, and we have, many of us, devoted so much of our lives to parenting that we have lost who we are. We have lost friendship. So to bring it back to the friendship theme as adults, Danielle, when we find ourselves like, I don't really have that many friends as an adult, is that a bad thing, or is that okay?
So that's not okay. And normally I'm very like, well, it's not okay to not have connections, period. And the longest
What
one,
if you have your husband and you're good?
I love that for you. And I said what I said. Okay? This is sounding not hypothetical, Maggie.
I'm Maggie's friend.
Okay,
Yes,
so
exactly.
so
I have
what do
a
you
friend.
mean? So The research says that the number one thing that makes you happy and healthy is the quality of your relationships is determining your health. And you need like 2 to 3 close friends, but we also need not close friends.
Right.
You need those connections too, because they all add something different to your life. So they find that the healthiest people have something called relational diversity. And so that means you have different kinds of connections. So your mom friends, church friends, happy hour friends, having those people are healthier. And I think it's less about because they're so extroverted. I think it's more about if you have those different kinds of connections, it says something about how you're plugged into the world. So if I have gym friends, I'm probably going to the gym. If I have church friends, I'm probably like
love
active
that.
spiritually.
Yeah.
I can confidently say you have that.
I do. I have all that.
Your
I
friends
just-
are listening right now like,
Yeah.
girl.
I am your friend.
I have friends, but I just don't hang out a lot
So what is
with
that
people.
about?
Oh boy.
Therapy.
because I work all week, and then when I get home on weekends, I just want to be with the family.
Yeah. I'm actually the same. I'm the same way. Like my friends, I label them like the ones that I really truly call my friends. They're like family. So when I think of my family, I don't talk to my family every day, but when I do, it's very impactful.
Yeah,
when we
yeah.
do connect, it is impactful. And so that's my life. I'm working all the time. I'm taking my daughter to track practice, and we're there until 7 or 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
By the time I come home, I work on Saturdays now. Like, so Sunday is like my only day, off, and Monday sometimes. So it's just, I don't have all the time in the world to connect with my friends and family. However, they're still there, like for those, when I need them or when they need me,
I think Danielle's going to hate what I'm about to say.
Say it.
What are you about to say?
Say it.
I've reached a point in my life, and this may be temporary or it may not be. I've decided no new friends. And the reason why is because I've hit a point in my life where all I do is cart kids around, right? But then also, I've also reached a point in my life where this is the person I'm going to be. And if you don't like it, and also I am a hard personality. I'm not trying to like make new friends for them to be like, meh. So the people that I have in my life currently that have rode hard with me, they are my closest friends. There are some that I see all the time. There are some that I won't see them in years, pick up the phone and we'll be like, key.
Yeah.
So, but for now, no new friends.
So that is called the illusion of history effect.
Okay, she's gonna.
And the idea is that when you look backwards, you can see how much you've grown and changed as a person. But when we look forward, we're like, no, who I am is baked in. This is how it's going to be. You are going to change again, my friend.
Yeah,
And
really
you are
should.
going to
I
need
will.
people who come alongside and they know the new evolved you and they just get
You
it.
are.
And so also people in their 30s and 40s have the least amount of leisure time compared to other groups. So it does feel like what you all are saying, it does feel exhausting. When am I going to have time for friends? I don't. But that curve, they call it the friendship dip, is going to come back up. And you're going to reclaim some of that time. And the kids
Yes,
get out of the
that's what I'm
house.
saying.
And the-
I'm reclaiming my time.
And I will say, when we do make time, because for the things that matter, you have
It's
to make
hard.
time.
It's hard.
We never, ever, ever regret it. We always come home and say, wasn't that fun?
That's true.
Or I
Yeah.
always come home and say, wasn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry that I don't do it more, because it's like the gym.
Yeah.
I do make time for the gym because it's good for me, because I feel good, because I never regret it. I regret not going. So I got to start looking at friendship that way too.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like that?
I think I want to know, maybe you need to do a research about this. Tampa Bay has a location problem. I can't get with friends so many times. I would love to
What
go
do you
see
mean?
Maggie on the weekends, but I'm like, I'm not driving over that dang bridge to go see her.
That's
And I
fair.
feel like
Yeah.
people who live in metropolitan spread out, or maybe this is a rural problem too. You're like, I'm not jumping in the car when I'm home and I'm in my comfy pants. So I don't know. Is that a thing? Did I make that
Well,
up?
but Danielle says, and because research showed, as she taught me, that doing almost anything with someone is better, is healthier for you. You're a happier person. So you can do like literally anything with somebody. It doesn't have to be an elaborate hangout, right? You can
Yeah.
go,
You could say, I
that
know,
requires me to get in the car.
not necessarily your neighbors, right?
you can, you're gardening, your friend has your neighbor has a green thumb, like hey, I'm gonna garden tomorrow, or come help me put these tomatoes in. You've got the magic touch. But like just doing things with other people. So it doesn't have to be my besties an hour away. It can be somebody in the neighborhood, and we're both gonna take the kids to the neighborhood park. But just doing things with others makes those things more enjoyable and more happy and healthy. But I also acknowledge the struggle.
Yeah.
We've got a lot we've got to do as women.
And I also notice that it doesn't have to be all the time. Like I don't think the obligation of doing it once a week or twice.
When it becomes an obligation, that's when,
So
I was at a birthday party recently where there were all these moms, and I kind of did my, I'll fake like, hi, I kind of know you, I kind of don't know you.
Yeah.
Then I saw a mom that I know from another birthday party, and we started talking, and she said, "Are you like a hang out with other moms, mom?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "When I saw you, I was so happy." And I was like, "When I saw you, I was so happy."
You find your people.
You're hanging out with the right moms.
There you go.
Love that
You
for
just
you.
got to find
Yes,
your
you
people,
gotta find
and
your
you got to
people.
let your kids find their people and solve their own problems.
Yes.
That is the moral of the story today. Ladies, thank you. It always
Thank
goes
you.
too fast. I do appreciate my friendship with all of you
Yay.
and my time that we
Same.
spent. It's quality, 100%. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.